Hello everybody, SpiritGaming here, and right now I have a video that I want to make from my heart. So yes, today we are gonna be talking about the differences between free-to-play players and pay-to-win players. So we will touch about the difference in PvP, PvE, stats, builds, spending, testing, game experience, club recruitment, and a bunch more stuff. But before we talk about all of those stuff, make sure to subscribe to my channel, also join my Discord. Link of my Discord is in the description below. Also, every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday I will be doing Dramarja streams, and also in all of those streams there will be some nice CD key giveaways. So if you want free stuff, make sure you tune in to those streams, get some nice CD keys. But I think, yeah, this is not a scripted video, by the way. I just have some points written on the screen right here on my other monitor, which I'm gonna be reading out from, but I'm literally just gonna talk about these things from my heart. Okay, so the first point I want to make about the difference between free-to-play and pay-to-win players is the different playstyles in PvP. For example, a pay-to-win player can not really worry that much about dying, you know what I mean? Like, they can sit in one place, attack as much as they possibly can, and they basically think about how much damage they can do and how much kills they can get in the shortest amount of time. That is literally it. However, for us free-to-play players, if we see someone that's literally doing that, we cannot go in that place, right? If we go there, we're just gonna die, and that's over, right? Basically, if a pay-to-win player stays in one place, free-to-play players have to go to the other place. They cannot even come close to him, right? That is one different playstyle in PvP. For example, I will say again, free-to-play players do need to worry about how they survive that, how they will survive that PvP match, but also how can they be the most effective. While pay-to-win players do mostly think about how effective they can be, yes, but in terms of damage and getting kills. Okay, that's pretty much it about this point. Next up we have difference in classes for PvP and PvE. What this means is that, yes, you see a lot of Reapers out there, right? You see a lot of Reapers in the top 1 teams, in the top 10 Ladder of Honor teams, in the top 10 Bombs teams and stuff like that. However, if that team was made as a free-to-play team, for example, right now Kalinko in Defense's team is rank 1 in a Ladder of Honor, right? And they run mostly 4 Reapers, 1 Silencer, and I can say the same for the top 10 teams. However, the problem with that is if a free-to-play team wanted to run that exact combination of classes, it would all go down the drain. And the reason is, of course, Silencers can easily do anything that a pay-to-win player can, except, you know, do damage. Like, literally, they can do the same things. However, when it comes to Reaper, no free-to-play player will have enough damage to, you know, even come close to the pay-to-win players. Of course, Silencers cannot get to that place as well. However, they have many other things that they can help as a Soul Dancer. Well, as Reaper, you don't really have that many debuffs and CCs, but you just need to do damage, and it's pretty hard as a free-to-play Reaper as well. So that's like one, I guess, difference in PvP and PvE. When you go in PvE, of course, you always see the top-ranked teams, the top-ranked players in Clash of Swords. They are, you know, pay-to-win main most of the time. Of course, there are exceptions between bad pay-to-win players and good pay-to-win players. Of course, a bad pay-to-win player will do less damage than a good free-to-play player as well. Now, let's see the difference in stats, right? For example, I'm making guides on what the best stats are for me, for example. However, a pay-to-win player can literally place defenses, can place elemental defenses, can place whatever they want on their gear pieces. The problem right now is that pay-to-win players, many of them, not saying all of them, there are many pay-to-win players that do care about how they build their character, but some of them don't even know what most of the stats do, right? I'm not saying that I exactly know the chances and stuff, of course, but they literally don't know what defense does, what most of the things do, right? And they just play stuff that boosts their rating, boosting their rating, and they want to get as much rating as they possibly can. That includes placing elemental defenses, just placing critical resistance all over the place without even knowing that it may or may not help them as much. But as free-to-play players, we really cannot afford to place defensive stats on our gear pieces, since if we do that, then it's doomed. We won't have enough damage, we won't have enough offense to, do anything in the game. That is why, of course, the tank BM build is bad right now, and it probably always will be because free-to-play players cannot get any use to it. However, if a pay-to-win player plays that build, they can be unkillable and also do a lot of damage. Because of Void, for example, free-to-play players can attack him, but yeah, the player that has Void and is tanky AF can just deal the damage back because of counterattack. Next up is the difference in builds. This is similar to difference in stats. However, of course, builds do come in forms of pets, allies, skill rotations even. Yes, even skill rotations can be different. Talents, deep talents, everything like that. Even hair now. Hair has some pretty cool stuff that I might talk about in a later video, but it's completely different. Like, they are playing a different game. That is what I wanna say. Literally, pay-to-win players and free-to-play players play a different game. It does not mean that if the top player in the server is using that build, it doesn't mean that that exact same build will be good for you. So that is why you should experiment on your own, just as I am. Right now I know that this build is the perfect build for me. I'm running, all subsets on gear pieces with earth attack and magic attack, right? Literally on all gear pieces I have that, and it's running perfectly for me. I have gotten used to it. I know how to play with all classes with the same build. Basically I know my playstyles, right? But what happens if I change to the exact same build that the rank 1 assassin player has on our team, on our server? Then I might be way worse than I am right now. So experience with your stats, experience with your builds especially, and figure out what's good for you as a free-to-play or a pay-to-win player. You don't have to follow any guides. Of course, my guides are good, but my guides are good as a starting point, guys. It does not mean that my guides will work for every single person out there, right? So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about in the build section. Now we go to spending. Of course, use some is basically waste my diamonds, but that was because I did really want that cool, dragon appearing in front of me always. I just on the back of me always. It does look extremely cool. Yes, I did waste a lot of diamonds on enhancements. However, let's say for example I placed all of those diamonds in motors. I was just gonna be more tanky and have a bit more damage. Well, right here I do have a bit more damage and I do have a bit more tankiness as well. So it was fine, and it also do look way cooler when that appears. Of course, my wardrobe right now is not the same. It's not meant for this effect, but I will be changing it later down the line. But the main reason why I wanted to talk about spending is, well, everyone, like, pay-to-win players can spend on outfits, they can spend on any draconic they want. They initially spend on allies and pull allies until they get the right ones. However, we do rely on luck. Of course, I am not gonna say anything about allies because I am actually really lucky by getting the 2 best allies in the whole game as of right now, and probably ever. If we look at Taiwan and China servers, then yes, these 2 allies are used always. Of course, there are many others like College Eri, Police Luminous, Nono is used a lot. Of course, I definitely would like to get those allies, but for right now, I'm satisfied with these 2 center allies, and one of them is a great support. The other one is a great support as well, so these 2 are typically the top tier allies you wanna get. Of course, I kinda went off topic with this, but yeah, all I wanna say is that we do rely a lot on luck, but pay-to-win players do not when it comes to spending. Next up is testing, everyone. Yes, testing. In terms of, I'm not sure why many pay-to-win players don't test and share their results. I would definitely like for some pay-to-win players to get some gear pieces and maybe make 2 sets of, yellow gear, for example. Like, this is the set they use, it has this amount of stats, for example. If this set right here has multi-strike earth attack crit level, AP, magic attack and counter reduction, I would definitely like to have another set in my inventory sitting there, just to test out with, main stats, placing dexterity, insight, intelligence, and then figuring out what's better, right? Maybe they will figure out something new. However, I have not seen a pay-to-win player do that and share the result. Yes, there have been some, of course, but they are not really considered as heavy pay-to-win players, so they don't even have the resources to do that, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it about the testing thing as well. Now let's talk about the in-game experience. So in-game experience is basically most of the things I already said. However, I would definitely like to get, you know, some different outfits. For example, let's find the Shell Wish outfit. No. This is, yeah. For example, I would definitely love to have this one, but I really can't, right? If the server does not have enough pay-to-win players, free-to-play players, we'll never get this outfit. Literally never. There is zero chance for someone to get this and is a free-to-play player if the, you know, pay-to-win players are not selling it in the store, which our server, for example, is quite dead. We do have a quite a dead server, and there are literally like no outfits that I can buy. Even if I, you know, would waste most of those diamonds just for looks, I would rather do that than, you know, not look cool and waste them on enhancements, right? In-game experience in terms of that, of course, they have all of the max pets, they can experiment what pets they like, they can have all of the forms of the pets, follow them. This does not mean that if I'm not using Yauda, I cannot summon her and use her as, you know, an ally right here that follows me, right? Here, of course, they literally are so far ahead, they're months ahead of us, we cannot even catch up to them at all, right? Like, they know if the hair system will be worth it or if it will not be worth it, right? For us free-to-play players to spend. However, no one is sharing that information yet, which I kinda dislike, not gonna lie. And lastly but not least, club recruitment, right? So for example, in our club we don't really have any top tier players. For example, Dark Army has the top 2 players in their club. That means that, of course, if you see, as a new player, for example, you go to rank immediately, you see the first top 5 players, right? And what do you see over here? Rimini, Dark Army, Luffy, Dark Army. Oh man! And you think to yourself, oh well, why? I would definitely like to join Dark Army, they look like the best club, right? And for example, if they look at Meow, we don't really have that many top players. We are of course a very nice club, very friendly club, but we will never get some new players like that, right? We only get players if they get mad at our clubs, there's drama in our clubs and stuff like that. They never join us for the people we are, right? They never join us for the how good the club is or anything like that. They only join if, you know, they have problems with our clubs, and this has been ongoing for a long time. Even I joined Meow that way, right? Even me personally, I joined Meow that way. But yeah, that's another thing. Club recruitment between free-to-play leaders and pay-to-win leaders of the clubs. And yeah, that's basically it about this video. There are probably many more things I did not touch on. However, maybe we can do a part 2 of this video and have another nice discussion. We do have these discussions a lot of the times on the stream, so make sure Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday 8 PM GMT+2 I do stream every single time, every single week, so please join. It's a very fun stream, always has been. And yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. Subscribe if you have not already, like the video if you enjoyed it, and bye bye until next time.